My Remixer Sparta remix is finally finished. Honestly, it could have been better, but I can just remake it in the future. What's this?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
At the very beginning of this year, I had specifically stated that I was not going to be discussing any drama on this channel moving forward. However, the issue this video is about rides a fine line between drama and just a misunderstanding. If you aren't aware, there are at least two channels, that I know of, that have been re-uploading Sparta remixes from multiple remixers in the community. This ranges from popular remixers like Rosa and Lizzie to lesser-known remixers like LolSus4U, Solus Gamer, and... So I wanted to make this video to ultimately discuss their intentions for doing this, why what they're doing is wrong, and what they can do to not only fix their channel so they won't get terminated, but to also clarify what they can do to continue sharing remixes without clashing with the fair use doctrine. And please, for the love of God, don't go harass these people. My intention for talking about them is to get them out of the hole they dug themselves in. Don't push them back in. First, let me tell you about the two channels that I found. Both channels are made by people who I think are from Cambodia. If you don't know, the language they speak in Cambodia is Khmer, which I believe is the language being spoken here. On this channel, there is a community post that thankfully states what their intentions are. Basically, what they're saying is that they re-upload remixes on their channel in hopes that people in their country will see them as well. The intent is to get other people from Cambodia to subscribe to Sparta Remix channels and actually watch the remixes from those channels instead of relying on these channels to provide the remixes for them. This is something that I can mostly understand. When you use a platform like YouTube, which is owned by Google, you are primarily, and sometimes only, going to receive recommended videos that are in the same language that you speak. This usually means that if you don't speak another language, you probably won't bother watching other content that's in a different language. If you don't know what the title even says, you don't know what the video is about, therefore, you don't watch it. So by creating these channels and translating everything into Khmer, others from Cambodia will be more likely to check out Sparta remixes. Okay, cool. Their intentions are not ill in the slightest. They're showing remixes to the people in their country and giving credit to the remixers they use remixes from. So what's the problem? Well, there's two problems, actually. If one of the channels they use remixes from ends up changing their name or profile picture, in other words, changing their alias, then obviously the credit they give in the video will become outdated. So you would surely think they would link everyone's channel in the description. They should, but they don't. And not only do they not link their channels, they also do not link the original remixes. In other words, they don't give people direct access to either the original creators or their work. Their second problem is something that will actually be a challenge for them if they continue stealing remixes. And that's... If a remixer sees their remix is somewhere else besides their own channel, they would be able to copyright strike it. Some more than others if they've had their remixes stolen 2 times or more. This is no different from a YouTuber seeing their content in full on a channel they obviously do not own. What's worse is that it only takes 3 videos to get hit with a strike before the channel is terminated. This means that if these channels are terminated, their original purpose to share Sparta remixes with their country means next to nothing. And as I've stated previously, they do give credit in the video, but that's not enough. Sure, they acknowledge these remixes were made by other people and not themselves, but under copyright law, just because credit is in the video doesn't mean it's fair use. Fair use, by definition, is limited use of content a user has where they don't need permission from the original creator to upload. You can use clips of videos without somebody's permission as long as you're actually doing something different with said video. A great example is reaction channels. The good reaction channels. Specifically the ones who give clear insight on videos they react to, taking time throughout the video to give their thoughts and criticisms in a constructive way. These channels don't really do that. If you compare the remixes they post on these channels to the actual remixes themselves, you can tell that nothing is different besides their channel name, extra text, credit, and whatever this is being put on screen. Well, if they're uploading these remixes, maybe they got permission from these remixers. Maybe they have permission to use the remixes in full on their own channel. Well, I can tell you with 100% certainty that they do not ask for permission. I would know because one of my remixes, as shown in the intro, was uploaded to that channel. In fact, in this specific video, it was the first remix to be shown. And no, they did not ask me to use it. They do not give proper credit, and they do not get direct permission before posting these remixes. And so, these channels could be terminated if they're not careful. Now, how could these channels do what they do now in a way that does fall under fair use? There's only one method I can think of, but you guys could probably think of more. My suggestion is the reactor approach. They could use a part of a remix that they find the most enjoyable, and then give a rating and some other commentary that makes it transformative. Of course, this still means they'd have to link every person's channel in the description just in case, but this approach, where they give their criticisms on people's remixes, would be a better way at spreading Sparta remix content in their country rather than just uploading the remixes in full. I want to go over just a couple of things before I end this video. First, addressing why I made this video. As I've said, one of my remixes was stolen and put on this channel. Since I am technically involved because of this, I feel like it needs to be addressed since this type of thing is wrong, whether the intent behind it is good or not. Now you may be asking, these are small channels with little to no views or subscribers, so why am I worrying about this? Because it's so frustrating to spend days, weeks, or even months on a remix just for someone to take it and upload it to their own channel like it's slop content for a compilation. It is true that as a remixer that your work will be stolen from time to time, but that doesn't mean that this whole thing is okay. Next, I want to address a point that I know I'm probably going to get. What makes other people's remixes on these channels any different from actually making the remix? What I mean is, to make a Sparta remix, you take somebody's video, usually a video you've already seen, you turn it into a remix and upload that remix on your channel. Wouldn't this fall under the same criticism as these channels? In a way, yes and no. Technically, you are taking someone's videos to make a remix, so that is technically kind of stealing content. However, you use samples from the video to make some form of music that's not so different from YTPMVs. So in a way, you don't really need permission to upload these videos, because it falls under fair use. In fact, there's an entire playlist made by Citrus containing remixes that have been noticed by the people who have made the videos being used. And all the reception that is seen on these remixes, from what I can see, is always positive. We do still need to give proper credit and link the videos we use, something some of us need to work on, including myself. However, my main point is that making the remix yourself is way different from uploading a remix you do not own onto your own channel. And lastly, I shouldn't have to preface this, but do not re-upload other remixers' stuff without their direct permission. Unless you ask the original creator and get their permission to use their stuff, take any other answer as no. Even if you ask and get no response, do not upload their stuff under any circumstances. Most remixers, including myself, have specifically said that they do not want their remixes uploaded anywhere besides their own channel. So please, respect our wishes. So, what was the point of this video? Well, I'm not really doing this to expose these channels per se. Again, their intentions are fair and understandable, so I don't want to condemn them when their intentions are good. But I do want to point out that their way of fulfilling their purpose is what's going to get them in trouble. I would go as far as to say they should consider taking down every video and start over doing things differently, because at least then they'd be at less risk of getting terminated. It would also make less people angry with them and condemn them because they don't know any better. Now, maybe something will come of this, maybe not. What I suggest you guys do is appreciate their purpose, condemn their execution. At least, not until something changes.